two-seater. Gas, check the meter. We just keep on going up.
Hey, if you can relate to that first guy, then you've come to the right place. Because in this video, I'm going to show you how you can get ungated in Amazon for different brands like Nike, Adidas, Under Armour through a retail store, more specifically Kohls. And it's super easy, super painless. Hey, what's up again? Welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, my name is Justin, and in this playlist, I talk about all things reselling. So I've been selling on Amazon for about 6 months now, and if you're newer to the platform like I am, one of the things that you quickly realize is a lot of the types of products that you can buy that have margins in them, you're going to be gated in. And simply what gating means is Amazon wants to build enough trust with you as a seller on their platform to make sure that you are not selling any counterfeit items or kind of harming their brand when you sell anything and send it out to a customer. So I completely understand the concept, but at the same time, it makes it very difficult when you're just getting started, when you're not able to sell most of the items that you come across. So if you're anything like me, I did a lot of research. I looked up a lot of different YouTube videos to find out what's the best way to get ungated in some of these different brand names. And there is some information out there, but a lot of what I found were people telling me to go through a distributor or a wholesaler to be able to purchase items to get an invoice to get ungated in some of these brand names. And don't get me wrong, those methods do work, but there are a few drawbacks. And some of these drawbacks are you have to build a relationship with the wholesaler or distributor, meaning you have to create an account and sometimes apply or have a seller certificate to be approved to utilize their services. And another drawback is in most cases you do have to have a minimum order amount for them to fulfill that order. And in some cases I've seen $300, $500, even up to $1,000. And one of the other main drawbacks is you're investing hundreds of dollars into this item to be ungated in that specific brand name. And if you're to resell it, best case scenario, you would break even, but in most cases you're going to be losing money. So what if I told you there is a way to get ungated in various brand names within Amazon without having to have a relationship with a wholesaler or distributor? You also don't have to have a minimum order amount, and you can make money on these items that you're getting ungated in. So just as an example, I saw that Kohls was having a markdown sale for some Skechers light up shoes. So I looked the listing up in Amazon and saw that I could make profit off of it, but I was gated in Skechers at the time. So I ordered 10 pairs of these shoes from Kohls for $22.99 a piece. Once I received the shipment, I submitted the invoice and my selling application, and I was approved. Then from there, I sent those shoes through Amazon FBA and sold each pair of those shoes for $53. So with that, I got ungated, made my investment back, plus around $16 per sale. But hey, listen, I know what you're thinking. This is too good to be true. This is another clickbait video. Well, look, I got proof. I got receipts. And if you stick to the end of the video, I'll be demonstrating live of me getting ungated in a brand name that I'm currently gated in using this method. You really do not want to miss this. So without any further ado, we're going to go ahead and get started.
On my own, I've been on my own little journey.
Alright guys, real quick before we get into the juicy stuff, I did want to cover some really quick housekeeping items, and that is auto ungating. So for anybody who's brand new to this, I didn't know this coming in, but anytime you might be looking up an item and you see that gray box of death pop up, there's a chance that Amazon will just auto ungate you from requesting approval right there on your phone. So you're going to want to click that gray box of death. That'll take you to the next screen where you can request approval. Go ahead and click that, and there is a chance that you will see this screen, meaning that you've been auto approved to sell that brand. So now that that's out the way, you can meet me at the computer where I will walk you through my process of submitting Kohls invoices to get ungated in different brand names on Amazon. All right, so before we submit our invoice, let's go ahead and take a look at exactly what Amazon is requiring for our selling application. The application needs to be submitted within 180 days or 6 months of the invoice. Next, you want to make sure that the invoice includes your name and address that matches the information in your seller account. Also, the document needs to include the name and address of the manufacturer or distributor. And last, this is very important, you need to make sure when you make that order that you're purchasing at least 10 units of that item. These last two boxes are not that important, but you can omit the pricing information. And also, Amazon just wants you to be aware that they may reach out to the manufacturer or distributor for verification purposes. All right, cool. So now that we have a good understanding of what Amazon is requiring, let's go ahead and find an item to purchase to get ungated in a brand name. All right, so I'm gonna head over to Kohls.com and take a look at what they have in their store now. The most optimal way that this method works for you to make money is if you come across a deal on an item, then when you go to look it up in Amazon and you find out that you're gated, then at that point you can go back and purchase 10 units of the item and use that invoice to get ungated and then also make money off of that. So I'm going to use this Melissa & Doug Farm Animals Lace and Trace panels as an example because I know that I'm currently gated in Melissa & Doug. Now just so you know, I'm not going to make any money off of this, but I purchased this item just to be able to show you all step by step the process of how to use a Kohls invoice to get ungated. So what I'm going to do here is I'll go over to the Amazon Seller app and see if I can pull up the listing for this item. Here I'm just going to type in Melissa Doug Farm Animal Lace. So that's going to pull up the listing here. As I open it up, you'll see the gray box of death pop up. So with that said, I see for this specific item that I do have to request approval. I can go ahead and click on the gray box of death. I can click request approval. And for this particular brand name, it doesn't auto ungate me. So at this point, I know that I have to get an invoice for it. And then my next step would be going back to Kohls.com. Then I would go ahead and order 10 units of this item to secure that invoice. Now I've already ordered and received this item to make this video, and I'll show you all the email confirmation of my order. All right, so once your package arrives, as you can see for me, I do have 10 units of the Melissa & Doug Lace and Trace Farm Animals, and included with the shipment, Kohls will also send you a proof of purchase. And that will either be an 8x11 sheet of paper that looks like this, or a shipping slip that looks like this. Now I've used both forms of proof of purchase to get ungated, and I haven't had any issues with either one. Now inside of this shipment, they did include the actual sheet of paper. So let's review this up against the Amazon requirements for their selling applications. Now as you can see on the bottom, the order date, that is within 6 months of my selling application. Up at the top, the ship to and sold to name and address are matching the information in my seller account. Up at the top right, it does include the name and address of the merchant or seller. And then toward the middle of the page, it does give a count of the quantity ordered, quantity sent, as well as a description of the item that was purchased. So now what I'm going to go ahead and do is take a picture of this document to attach and include in my selling application. Another thing that I found helpful in achieving a 100% approval rate is taking pictures of the item. So I usually take one picture of the front of the item, and then I'll also take another picture of the barcode. Because you have to remember there's a human being on the other side of this transaction, so you want to make this as easy as possible for them to review and verify that you do have the item in hand and that that item matches the actual listing. All right, we're back at the computer now. The only way to submit your selling application is going to be via desktop or the actual website. So now we're going to go ahead and submit all of our documents. So what you're going to do is go up here to catalog, hit add products, and the easiest way to pull up the item that you're looking to get ungated in is going to be the ASIN. Now I usually pull the ASIN off of the mobile app because I just find it's easier that way. And where you can find that is if you're in the product listing, you can scroll down under features and details. If you click that, then at the very bottom of that page will be the ASIN. So we're going to go ahead and take that, type that into the search bar, and the actual product listing comes up. Just make sure that it is the same item that you're looking to get ungated in. So as you can see here, Melissa & Doug Toy Lace Trace Farm Animals. I'll go ahead to condition. I'm selling it as new, and I'm going to apply to sell. Go ahead and click request approval, and that's going to bring us back to this screen where you can submit an invoice or a letter from Melissa & Doug authorizing you to sell. You will always pick the first option to submit a purchase invoice, and here are the requirements that we talked about. So we'll just go down the line and check off each of them. Dated on or after August 23rd, includes my name that matches my selling account, includes the name and address of the manufacturer or distributor, show combined purchase of at least 10 units, and then the last two don't really make a difference. So as you can see here, the types of files that they'll accept can be a PDF, DocX, PNG, GIF, or JPEG. So I will say this, in the reselling community, a lot of people talk about if they're submitting an invoice and it says the word receipt on it, then they'll wipe that out completely. Now, as a reseller, do I condone this? Have I ever done that before? No. But I will say the main thing that you need to focus on is that that invoice or that proof of purchase document meets all the requirements that Amazon's asking for. Again, mainly they want to make sure that you're not sending counterfeit products that will overall harm their brand. And so if you have all that information, in addition to the pictures that you took to show that you physically have that item and it matches the invoice, at that point it's verifiable that it's not a counterfeit product. So now I'm going to go ahead and insert my invoice and my pictures. Now again, something else that I like to do to make it as easy as possible for the Amazon representative that's going to be reviewing my application is put comments in, and I generally put something like, per invoice purchase 10 units of Melissa and Doug toy lace trace farm animals. Once you've done that, you can scroll to the bottom, and this is just where you're putting your contact information. The email address is going to be very important because once Amazon comes to a decision, they will email you to let you know if you've been approved or not. The phone number is not that important, but you can include that if you'd like to. Once you have that in there, you're just going to go ahead and hit submit. And that'll take you to a screen saying thank you for submitting your application. And now we wait. So once I do get a response from Amazon, I'll follow back up with you guys to let you know what decision that they made. And then also it'll give you a better idea of the timing it takes to get a response back. But other than that, I'll catch up with y'all once I hear back. Well, we did everything that we could. And I hate to say that I told you so, but we have been approved. So just so you can see the timestamps for everything, it is about 12:30 on Monday, February 21st. Hopefully you can see that. And from the time when I submitted my selling application, it was Saturday, February 19th at 3:59 p.m. So it took about a day and a half for Amazon to respond to my selling application. But ladies and gentlemen, we got the approval. And as you can see, the timestamp on the email is February 20th at 11:27 p.m. So although this method has been working for me, I know everybody's different, results are going to vary, and it's not guaranteed. But if Amazon should decline your application, you can just continue to reapply. So you just go back into the seller website, go up to catalog, click view selling applications, and then go down to reapply and submit your pictures and invoice again. And I know that sounds really odd, but I've heard from several resellers that after their third or fourth attempt, they were able to get ungated using the same documents that they provided the first time. With that being said, if you do happen to try out this method, I would love to hear about your experience with it, or if you have any questions or issues. So feel free to leave it in the comments below and I will get back to you. But I have tested this out many times, so I'll go ahead and list the different brand names that I've been approved in 100% of the time on my very first selling application. And again, my ultimate goal for this playlist is to help as many resellers as possible. So if you found this information beneficial, please like and subscribe to the channel and share it with as many people as possible. Because if we can get to 500 likes on this video, I will drop an upload on how to automate your product sourcing process completely for free. But other than that, that's all I have for you today. I appreciate y'all stopping by and hanging with me, and I'll catch you in the next one.